to Tuesday's market SITREP here at Top Gun Options. That means it's day 2 of our full throttle launch. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Whiz. This morning, folks, if you haven't had time to register or opt in to our full week of live trading and training, you can do so right now. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/joinft. That's short for join full throttle. You still got plenty of time. I'm going to do our primary live trade brief this morning at 10 a.m. Our full flight schedule of events is over here. If you missed our kickoff, our in-brief last night, not to worry, folks. Everything is recorded and put on our replay page. Easy for me to say. The URL for that is go.topgunoptions.com. Ready for this one? Really confusing. FT replay, full throttle replay, and there it is right there. You've got to watch the replay from last night. I talk about our strategic, operational, and tactical trading methodology, our 7-step trade plan, and a whole host of other things, including an acronym called NOT FEAR. North Korea, oil, Trump, Fed, Europe, Asia, Russia. Not fear 2017. Make sure you watch the replay there, folks, because this morning in my primary live trade brief, we're going to cover this weekly options SPX bear call spread. Futures are kind of flat. I sent out this the 25.15, 25.20 SPX bear call spread that expires on Friday. If the S&P 500 stays below 25.15, this trade makes about $2,000 on about $5,000 in risk. When I sent it out, it was at about $1.30, $1.35 mid market there. So could make about just over $2,000 on about $5,500 in risk. What's going on? Well, North Korea is still going on, folks. Trump is in New York, going to be talking at the United Nations today. Grab the popcorn for that. That's going to be interesting. Love when the guy goes and says and speaks the truth, right? He's going to go to the UN, poke him in the chest and say, hey, man, you guys don't deserve another nickel from the United States. Matter of fact, as a real estate guy, more or less, he's the landlord. He should be showing up in New York and going, by the way, you got about a year before I throw you out of here. Pay your bills or you don't get another dime from us. But obviously, the closest alligator to the boat, folks, is North Korea. This thing, it's got to end somehow. I think it's going to end with a nuclear-armed Korea that's trying to be contained, and that does nothing for nobody, because you know who's watching every move that we make with North Korea? Iran. They're going to do the exact same thing. You want a nuclear-armed North Korea and an Iran? Good luck. I'll be up on the top of a mountain in Montana watching all this with my AR-15s, my gold, and my water. Great headline. Folks, bulls have become completely desensitized to risk. Yesterday, folks, the VIX was crushed to a 9 handle. I think most likely tomorrow at 1 o'clock in our accelerated retirement brief is when I'm going to cover a special top secret tactic called a tredge, which is a trade but also a hedge out to October, because something's going to happen, folks, to creep this market the hell out in the next month. Take a look at the left side of the chart here, folks. Look at all the creep out, creep out, creep out, creep out, and then you buy the dip. BTFD, by the frigging dip, has worked for the, let's just call it for the past year, until it doesn't. Something is also going to happen. I call it the Fred Sanford, the big one. We're going to be clutching our chest. I'm coming, Elizabeth. It's the big one where it's over with. Some of the things that are starting to worry me right now, obviously we have a 2-day Fed meeting coming up. It's a press conference Fed meeting, which means Janet will be throwing some softball questions. But guess what, folks? She's after a decade after the crisis, the Fed's about to embark on the great unwinding. We had the taper, we had QE, we have all these invented names for what the Fed did when they tried to save capitalism, which I don't think they should have at all. We'll talk about that over a drink in Lake Tahoe at our live event. Should have never gotten involved in capitalism. The Bear Stearns, the Lehman Brothers, they should have all burned, and then a phoenix would have rose from the ashes. Now we have a Fed put underneath this market, folks. It's like the Pope telling Catholics that hell doesn't exist. This market just runs around, and in the old days, sound like an old guy, in the old days, some of these things that freaked the market the hell out, it would have really freaked it out, and for a longer period of time. But it just, you can't keep this market down, folks. You have to trade the market you have, not the one you want. Not that I want a down market, but I'm sick of having a safety net and everybody getting a trophy in this market. I'm hearing rumblings that the Republicans might have 12 days to repeal and replace Obamacare. Done. Whatever. You guys suck. It's stupid. The biggest thing I'm worried about right now is the tax cut. Obviously, personally, as a small business owner who's been getting destroyed. So I have a, what, a 30-40% effective tax rate. Google, Apple, Facebook, 0. Yeah, that makes sense because Mark Zuckerberg really needs more cash. That limousine liberal piece of garbage. So, folks, this really is uncharted territory. The Fed is entering, the markets are entering uncharted territory. All these bonds that they bought, folks, all the debt that they printed out of thin air, where's that going to go? So we're looking at a lot of projected volatility here. So we're gonna get long. We're gonna take a look at potentially a Facebook trade to Jan 19 this morning, maybe an Apple front month trade. Talk about their new phone offering here. You got $1,000 just laying around, go grab one, right? And I'm sure they're going to sell it for $1,000 over in China, right? And of course they're going to provide it with all the apps and everything like that without the Chinese government asking them to censor it. I can't stand hypocrites. Like at Tim Cook, when the FBI asked them to unlock that terrorist phone from what was it, San Bernardino or wherever that shooting was, and Apple said no, free speech, but they'll listen to the Chinese government and put a ton of crap in there to look at their citizens. Can't stand liberals, can't stand hypocrites, which is exactly what they are. Okay, guys, I got it ready for my 10 a.m. primary live trade brief. You still got time to register for the full week of live trading and training. That's going to kick off again today at 10 a.m. with the primary live trade brief. Again, all you have to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/joinft, and I'll see you guys there at 10 o'clock. Happy hunting, make sure you hedge, and God bless.